Welcome to a land of extremes, Alaska, the largest state in the United States. With over 663,000 square miles of rugged wilderness, towering mountains, and vast tundras, Alaska is home to some of the most stunning natural wonders in the world. Did you know that Alaska has more coastline than all of the other states combined? That's right, with a whopping 34,000 miles of coastline, Alaska boasts some of the most breathtaking seascapes you'll ever see. However, not all of Alaska's discoveries are welcoming. In fact, some are downright terrifying. But what terrifying discoveries are these? Let's find out. The Paleo Indians first settled in Alaska. A team of archaeologists from the University of Alaska at Fairbanks recently made an incredible discovery. They uncovered the 11,500-year-old remains of two Ice Age infants from the Upward Sun River archaeological site in central Alaska, believed to be the youngest human remains traced to North America's earliest inhabitants. The remains included the bones of a late-term fetus and a child who died shortly after birth, found in a covered-over pit beneath a hearth where a 3-year-old child was cremated. Along with the infants, projectile points and antler shafts coated with ochre were interred, likely as part of a burial ritual. This new facet of Paleo Indian behavior was previously unknown and adds to our understanding of early inhabitants' customs. Between 30,000 and 11,000 years ago, the Paleo Indians, the earliest people to live in the Americas, expanded their hunting grounds into the Western Hemisphere and Beringia, the geographical mass connecting Siberia and Alaska. A massive ice dome, the Laurentide Glacier that towered more than a mile over the present-day Hudson Bay, existed between 20,000 and 18,000 years ago. During the last ice age, the Great Plains were home to various animals, including mammoths, musk oxen, caribou, horses, camels, bison, elk, lions, wolves, Arctic ground squirrels, Arctic shrews, and lemmings. By 6,500 BP, the ice over North America had disappeared, and the environment transformed into today's characteristic zonal patterns. Between 12,000 and 10,000 BP, many big herbivorous and carnivorous animals became extinct because they could not adapt their diets, reproductive strategies, and morphologies. Chipped stone projectile points, such as those found at the Clovis, Goshen, Folsom, Midland, Plainview, Cody, Alberta, Hell Gap, Scotts Bluff, and Eden sites, make up the majority of the physical evidence for the Plains Paleo Indians. Hunting tools were presumably made of replaceable pieces that were fixed and recycled regularly. A lever-like spear thrower, known as an atlatl, launched certain chipped stone points fastened to short-fletched dart shafts. Additionally, chipped stone tools for skinning and butchering game, scrapers for skins and hides, and specialized fishing tools and accessories were included in toolkits. Vampire fishes falling out of the sky. If you thought sharks were the only sea creatures you had to worry about attacking you on land, think again. Alaskans have reported sightings of vampire fish raining down from the sky over the past few weeks, leaving many to wonder what is happening in the world. But fear not, it's not some kind of horror movie that comes to life. The creatures in question are actually Arctic lampreys, parasitic fish that use their sharp teeth to latch onto other fish and suck their blood. They don't exactly fit the bill of the glittery, romanticized vampires from Twilight, but they're still pretty terrifying nonetheless. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game has even posted photos of these eel-like creatures on Facebook, with gaping jaws full of circles of teeth and multiple tongues. It's like looking at an infant version of the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars. Despite their monstrous appearance, lampreys are actually quite fascinating creatures. They are born in freshwater, then move to the ocean as adults, returning to their rivers of birth to spawn. Lampreys can grow up to 15 inches long and don't have jaws like other fish. Instead, they have a disc-like mouth filled with small, sharp teeth. Adult lampreys clamp their mouths onto other fish, rasp through their scales and skin, and feed on their blood and fluids before dropping off after the meal. So, how did these creepy creatures end up falling from the sky? The Alaska Department of Fish and Game believes that gulls are responsible. Arctic lampreys spawn in the Chena River, which runs along Fairbanks' south side, and live in the mud underwater as juveniles for several years. Gulls have been spotted picking up the squirmy fish from the river with their bills and then dropping them while in flight. While this might seem like a scene from a horror movie, it's a relatively common occurrence in the wild. In all of Alaska, commercial and subsistence fishermen are familiar with the distinctive penny-sized circular wounds on salmon and trout resulting from lamprey feeding. Lampreys are reportedly a nice catch on their own. However, they're not usually found on land, and likely many lifelong Alaskans have never seen one up close because their body shape and feeding habits make them difficult to catch. The skull of a king bear. Archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery involving a polar bear skull in far north Alaska in 2014. But not just any polar bear skull. This one may be the key to unlocking the mystery of the fabled king bear described in native accounts. Dubbed the Old One for its age of around 1,300 years, this fourth largest ever found skull was discovered on a beach near Walakpa, a human settlement site over 1,000 years old. Scientists are fascinated by the unusual elongated back of the skull, which was also strangely narrow and strikingly different from typical modern-day bears. The skull may indicate the existence of a previously unknown subspecies of polar bear, which could explain the Inuit accounts of king bears or weasel bears that are said to be as long as 12 feet. While the front part of the skull is similar to those of today's bears, the back is visibly longer than those of comparable bears. Dr. Ann Jensen, who worked on the project, stated that they didn't know the entire animal size but knew it was a huge bear. She also revealed that the skull was compared to over 300 other polar bear skulls at the University of Alaska's Museum of the North, and a few others were found to show similar differences in the shape of the cranium. This suggests that the skull of the Old One may not be as unique as first thought. A new species of whale. When a young biology teacher stumbled upon a 24-foot whale corpse on a desolate beach in the middle of Alaska's Bering Sea, he thought it was just another Baird's beaked whale. But upon closer inspection, the animal turned out to be an entirely new species of cetacean known as the karasu. The discovery of a new whale species is an incredibly rare occurrence, and the karasu is only the fifth cetacean to be identified in the past 15 years. So what makes the karasu so special? For starters, it's a member of the beaked whale family, a group of whales that typically hunt squid and bottom fish in deep underwater canyons. The karasu is about 2/3 the size of the local Baird's beaked whale and has yellowed and worn teeth, suggesting it's not a juvenile. Its dorsal fin and darker skin also distinguish it from other beaked whales. When molecular geneticist Philip Morin received tissue samples from the karasu and tested its DNA, he confirmed it was a new species. Morin had been hunting for the mystery cetacean since 2013, when Japanese researchers published a paper about a small, black-beaked whale that Japanese fishermen call karasu, or the raven. While the karasu has long been known to Japanese fishermen, it's a mystery to the rest of the world. Scientists must find out how many there are and where they're typically found. But thanks to the discovery of the karasu, researchers can now begin to study this elusive creature. The discovery of the karasu is an exciting development in marine mammal research. With advances in DNA technology, scientists can now uncover new species that were once impossible to identify. Orange slime. Alaska is a stunning state with vast expanses of unspoiled wilderness that offer endless opportunities for exploration. However, there are some alarming developments in certain areas. In a small fishing village, a slimy orange substance has invaded the coastline, causing concern among the locals. The Eskimos who have inhabited this land for centuries have never seen anything like it. While the goo only lasted for a few days, its potential long-term consequences are worrying. At first glance, some people thought that the material might be made up of millions of microscopic eggs, but it is more likely that it is a toxic fungus spore. The mysterious substance can be seen in a photo as it washes up on the remote village's sandy shores. Despite this worrying incident, Alaska remains an incredible state full of natural beauty waiting to be explored. If you liked this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button right now and check out the next video on your screen we've already prepared for you.